Hello, my love. Welcome to Convos for A Bubbly Life. I'm your host, Tiara, aka T, and I love to live a life that is bubbly, meaning an extraordinary life by your own design. On this podcast, we explore the journey of creating the life that we've always wanted. So let's get to it. I just was scrolling through TikTok, and I love how different messages and different people and ideas and cultures and all that good stuff just comes across for me in my feed. I love that we have the opportunity to cultivate a space for ourselves where we can not only find things that we align with, but find things that might expand our thought processes and bring in new information that we can use to continue to grow and expand our own thoughts, belief structures, all that goodness. And so I was scrolling through and I saw this lady who had posted a video talking about affirmations. And you're about to hear a loud sound because I am going to open the blinds because I just have this urge to get some sunshine. Yes. I was like, okay, I feel like this needs a little sun in this moment. We're early morning, we're waking up, we're stepping into we're stepping into a new day, of course. We're stepping into a new day. We're making our morning affirmations, and by we, I'm saying me, myself, and I. It's what I enjoy doing. If that's something you enjoy doing, I appreciate that for you. If it's not something you enjoy doing, there's no judgment if you are not an affirmation person. But I really liked this idea that this creator had posted, and I wanted to share it with you and kind of see how I feel about integrating it into my own belief structure and my own life, right? I feel like in some ways I was already doing it, but I didn't I wasn't conscious of how I was approaching these terms. So in that, she was saying that if you're using I am as part of your affirmations, then I am is really related to your root chakra. And if you're not super familiar with your chakra system, let me know in the A Bubbly Life community or send me a side message or whatever, and we can go deeper into that. But as a Reiki practitioner, master Reiki teacher, we utilize the chakra system as an identifier of maybe where there might be blockages or overuse in our power, and where we can kind of identify energetically what could use some attention, right? Some work, if you will. And also it helps to bring balance into our spirit and our system. And so with that, we have the root chakras at the bottom. It is our stabilizer. It is our power. It's our groundedness. When you think about it, it's kind of right around where your pelvic area is. And so when I think about it, I'm sitting crisscross applesauce, and I am raising my chest, and I feel everything in alignment. And right there, that's your powerhouse. That is your safety, your protection of self. And so with that, your root is I am. I am powerful. I am strong. I am resilient. I don't know. Sorry, I am making noise because I am throwing a a toy for a furry friend. But anyways, we move up from there to our sacral chakra, and sacral is like emotional. It is sexy. It is, kind of like at your like belly button kind of area. And I always feel into the sacral with a little bit of movement, a little dance, getting a little like shimmy, shaky, twerking, not quite twerking, but like more sensual, slower movement in there. And like that is your I feel space, right? I feel connected with my community. I feel connected with my clients. I feel connected with the universe. I feel so happy every single day. I feel at peace. I feel joy and incandescence all around me, right? Leaning into those emotions. It feels really good. And it also reminds our mind and our body when we say I am this, like I am and I feel that it brings everything together, I feel like. And I'll get into that more as we move through the other I statements. So you can say, I am happy. I feel happy. We can move up again, and we have the solar plexus, and solar plexus are action, right? So I do enough. I do everything in my power to create the life that I desire. I do live an extraordinary life. I do enough feels so good. I do great things to create the extraordinary. I do enough to create the extraordinary, right? It feels like, it's taking action. It's recognizing the action that we take. And in the example, they had said, I do not chase, I attract, which is a very common affirmation that people like to share. And there is a lot of like argument in the world about the universe being so complex that it does not understand the negatives versus positive. It's just like it hears the action word. So it hears chase and attract or whatever. And like I think whatever is your belief structure, I think sometimes people get so caught up in one rule or another, and in essence I feel like there are no rules. At the end of the day, I find it's about getting into your own, whatever helps you get into whatever space. Because I've said I don't chase, I attract many a time. And it has proven itself powerful in my life. And so I think whatever you need to align with a particular frequency, to align yourself with what you're creating, to help you feel into the place, to help your mind understand that it can create whatever it is that you're looking to create, whatever helps you, whether, it's a, belief structure, religion, whatever gets you to your next step, I think is fine, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, as long as it, it isn't, or take out the negative, but as long as it is uplifting you, it is allowing you to feel open and safe and secure and happy. And where I was going to go with the isn't is like, as long as it is bringing you up is what I was saying. Like, it's not creating this sense of judgment for self. It's not making you feel bad about yourself. I feel like there can be such positives with belief structures, but also there can be this like crushing weight of expectation and judgment. So just being aware of where you're standing with your own system, and is it expansive for you or contractive for you, right? And so when it comes to affirmations, just reminding yourself, is it expansive for you or contractive for you, right? We are on this journey of creating an extraordinary life for ourselves. And part of the extraordinary is being open to receiving the extraordinary, open to the blessings, open to the experiences. But if we are, under this veil of fear, this veil of shame, then it's hard to witness that which is around us, and it's harder to speak our truth, which comes to another part of the chakra system. But we're not there. We went from solar plexus, which is I do, and then the next one going up is the heart chakra, which is I love. I love living an extraordinary life. I love my family. I love being surrounded by people who are open-minded and happy and ready to explore and create for themselves. I love me. That's a big one, right? Reminding ourselves that we love ourselves. So often we can get down on, and bogged down by the things that have happened in our day, the things that society has told us, people that we've loved have told us that have brought us down and helped us to think poorly of ourselves. So reminding ourselves that I love ourselves and that we are beautifully and perfectly made, I find is very important on a daily basis. And revisiting these kind of affirmations every single day really helps to solidify and switch up the mindset, especially if you've been in a space where you haven't witnessed your own magic. Bringing ourselves, and that's one of the important parts of the affirmation, is like helping ourselves see, because our brains are so complex, right? And they're really great at what they do. So everyone uses the car example, and I think it's a really perfect example, right? Where you're like, oh man, I really want a red car. And then all of a sudden you start seeing red cars on the road. It's not so much that new red cars are on the road all the time, right? Like they just all of a sudden a bunch of your mind has heard the intention. Your mind is like, oh, you said red car, let me show you red car, right? And keeps bringing it forward for you, right? And so our minds just naturally do that, right? It's an unconscious decision. So when you start really feeling into and believing in yourself, your mind will start to show you more examples, right? When you're like, oh, I am unattractive and I am this, I am that, then all of a sudden you can start seeing it in the mirror, right? If that is what your belief structure is in yourself, you'll look in the mirror and you can find all the things that would bother you, or all the things that society says is not right with you and your aesthetic. Or you can say, I am beautiful and I love myself. I feel good in my body. I do everything in my power to love me. I do enough to be the most perfect me that there is, right? You can create a whole bunch of affirmations that all are in alignment with loving yourself and knowing who you are, and knowing that is beautiful and perfect. So if you're in that space, because I know I've been in that space of wanting to people please because I felt less than in my own body, and needing to somehow make up for it. I spent my entire life trying to make up for being overweight, for looking different from everybody else, for being black, for not being black enough, whatever the case may be, because I didn't meet this expectation that someone somewhere said was important. I not even realizing that it wasn't even important to me. I became this person who felt the need to devalue myself and have to create a whole table for others to sit at, to hopefully be in my space. But now I recognize that I am the fucking table. Like, I don't need to create something. Like, I am enough as I am, and the right people are going to see that. And the same goes for you, right? So I love. And then we move up to the throat chakra. It's I speak. I speak my truth. I speak with confidence. I speak with power. I speak kindly. I speak with love. All feels good. Yeah. How do you speak when you show up in the world? Do you speak timidly? Do you speak truthfully? Do you speak from a place of love and honesty? Things to think about. There is no right or wrong. There is, what do you want to bring to the table? Just keeping that in mind. I speak softly. I find something that I've always felt was kind of powerful is, the people who talk clearly, articulately, powerfully, but not loudly. I've always found that to be so soothing and it's enlightening for me, especially being in a place where people, I know I'm loud. Like, I am born with a diaphragm of the gods. I can speak loudly without actually yelling. And it's like, it is a practice of mine to talk with power without screaming. There's a difference to the sound. There's a difference to the vibration as it hits your ears. And I am not a fan of yelling. It is just like, why are we yelling? It is hard to be heard, and it is hard to listen when we yell. So speaking softly doesn't necessarily mean quietly. I love that that space. So it's something to think. I've been in a space recently where there was just a lot of yelling, and that's like literally like, why are we yelling was like my thought process. And if you've ever gone out partying with me and drinking, there's a difference in that where, with loud music, whatever, I understand you're trying to combat the music, and I've been there and I've done that. But if we're in like a space where there's not a lot of things, I find yelling in order to be heard is not necessarily what you need to do. It is a presence about us that already demands and asks for being seen. It already asks for being heard. It already asks for being valued. And there's nothing to do greater to be all of those things, to receive all of those things. When we stand in our power, it's just a natural reaction, which moving from the throat, we go to the eyes, and that is I see. And so bringing that together, you start to see examples of that in your life as you do these affirmations. As I was talking about earlier with the red car, you see confirmation all around you, right? So we're reminding our minds that I see examples of growth and expansion all around me. I see love within my community. I see my bank account constantly growing. I see the value in myself. I see my worth. Going up to the crown chakra, which is the top of the head. It's your understanding space. It is your knowing. I know my worth. I see out into this universe, I see outside of myself that others know my worth. That is something that I have definitely struggled with, especially like with building a business, and something that I've come to recognize in watching other mentors and versus myself is over the course of business building and working with coaches and mentors, I was always having some sort of codependency and like, did I do it right? Am I showing up correctly? Am I enough? Who's going to edify me? Like, I need someone else to edify me. I need someone else to edify me. I need someone else to edify me. Whether I was conscious of it or not, I was always seeking someone else's approval, someone else to validate my power and give what I brought to the table value, because I wasn't valuing myself. And now we're coming back into this business thing. We're showing back up. We've created the security, job security, as it were, for ourselves, that we were looking for, the freedom within job security for ourselves. But now it's time to go back, get back into the grind, if you will, get back to do the hustle, and continue to grow, right? And find ourselves in this next chapter. In this next chapter, I'm showing up more. Maybe not even more, because let's be real, I went through a whole phase, and if you've known me for a while, I went through a phase of, I went live on Facebook every single day for, I think, almost 2 years straight. Going live was not an issue for me. It was a fun time when I think about it, but I also think about the fact that I would, I kind of was a caricature of myself. Like, just like at the beginning of my podcast, I have my little intro. I started my lives quite similarly, and I had come to a place where I was being like, wine diva, if anyone remembers that. But I remember having people tell me that their kids would watch with them, and I'm like, oh Lord, I have a potty mouth. Why would you do that? But I would always start like, hey, this is Tiara, aka T. Your wine diva. I don't know. Actually, I don't remember how it goes anymore. I just do remember saying that part, but the kids would always sing diva with me. And what was interesting about that, when I think about that time, is that one, wine diva was a name that was given to me. Somebody else was like, oh my gosh, you're pretty, you're a diva. Not in like a negative way, but like in this like, in this glorified way, I guess is probably a better way to put it. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. I was doing a lot of theater at the time. And so it was just like, it fit. And so wine, business, and theater, we're bringing it all together. And at the time, my goal was, to grow my wine business enough to, feel comfortable financially to embark on my acting journey. And when I look back, I'm like, well, why don't I just like embark on an acting journey and be like a normal person and get like a bartending job? But that's neither here nor there. I wanted something different. I knew I wanted something different. I wanted a different experience than the traditional actor pathway. And I think part of it is that I didn't truly, like, as much as I love acting, like, if it's not a role that really lights me up, I don't want to participate in it. It was cool to say I'm in a show, but like, I got to a point where if I was participating in a show, it doesn't matter, who the director was, doesn't matter, like, who's on stage with me. Like, yes, I can have fun with like the right people, but if the show wasn't a show I was excited to talk about, then like, what am I doing investing my time in it? So I just got to a place where And I think COVID really helps with like getting me out of this cycle of just like participating for the sake of participating and saying I'm in a show and saying I'm an actor and whatever. Like, I really was like, I need to get into a different rhythm, right? And, I have joked for a while that like I see myself as Oprah. I'm like, I'm the next Oprah, but no, I am Tiara, right? But like what Oprah represents to me is this space of influence, this space of like affluence, this space of talent and support to the community, philanthropy. It's acting as well. She's done movies. She's had her talk show. She has her hands in so many different businesses and philanthropies. Like, everyone knows this woman, and, very few people have anything negative to say about her. Like, that is and she's Black. Yes. Black woman power, right? Like, all of that is in my morphogenetic field. And that is like a clean, that's not right, like a clear visual outside of self representation that I can like align with when I say like I am like the next Oprah, right? That was something that I had been saying for a while, and without like trying to take anything away from Oprah as who she is right now. It is a goal, right? It is a trajectory that I had been looking at, and it never really became clear to me where all of that actually settled. Or I don't think I ever had the opportunity to actually articulate it until this moment right here. And I feel good in it, right? And as I say it and I come back to it, I am recognizing, what is it about the Oprah that makes her a goal, if you will. And I listed all the things there. And you can go back to the affirmations and align it with that, right? So like, I am influential. I am affluent, right? I am financially safe. I am financially free. And I feel safe. I feel comfortable with what is in my bank account. I feel happy with what is in my bank account. I feel powerful. I feel influential. I feel heard. I do enough. I do what it takes to be seen, heard, loved, and understood. I do enough, right? So that's root, sacral, solar plexus, heart. I love being famous. I love being heard. I love having influence. I love guiding and supporting and working with others. I speak truth. I speak with confidence. I speak and I am heard. Moving up from the throat to the eyes, the third eye. I see my worth. And going back to the Oprah thing, when we start putting other people on pedestals, when we start making things outside of ourselves our compass, we then separate ourselves from where we want to be. So in aligning ourselves with where we want to be, we also have to recognize that we are just as good. Doesn't have to be better or worse or anything. We match. We are the frequency. I see Oprah in me. I see that I already am exactly who, what, and what I need to be to witness my influence. I see my influence on the world. Yeah? And then top of the head is the crown, right? A crown. I know I already have exactly what it takes to have the influence, the financial freedom, the power, the notoriety that is the same level as Oprah Winfrey. Yeah? These are some powerful things that when we step into it. And going back to my mentor conversation, something I had recognized but hadn't fully put into power and hadn't put into practice is the fact that when I look at all the mentors around them, and I would always say, I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing that I'm not doing? I go live every single day. They might go live once a month. I am showing up for myself so frequently, and yet I'm not getting the results that I'm looking for. However, these people, what is it that these people are doing that they're not doing? And they're not even commenting on my shit, and that was kind of the spiral I would go down. And I recognize that they edified themselves. They had confidence in themselves. They trusted themselves to have and create and hold space for whatever it is that they were selling, whatever it is that they were bringing to the table. They had confidence as themselves in themselves for what they presented to the universe. And it was matched. It came back to them. And that's why it's super exciting for this next phase, because I know who the fuck I am now. And I know that I don't need that codependency anymore. I can stand powerfully on my own, right? It's great to have a support system, and I do have a support system. I still keep mentors because it's great to run these conversations around other people and have some help in calibrating to the next step. But I'm not looking for my mentor to be in my comments of my live videos or my podcast or my whatever to help give me the likes and the boosts to help me feel better about myself. That's not what I'm looking for anymore, right? That's not technically, that's vanity metrics, if you will. It's not connecting. I am now looking for what is the impact that I am having on my community. Who is showing up and is taking steps to create a bubbly life for themselves? Who is this resonating with? That's what I really want to know. Because from there, that is the community that we're building, right? We're building a bubbly life, and a bubbly life membership is going to be an ever-growing and wonderful thing. So I invite you to join that space now. Because I am seeing this community. I am seeing us, going on trips. I am seeing us in a stadium space, and I am seeing this opportunity for speaking, and we are going to create great things. So I invite you to come in now and watch and be a part of and participate in the growth and participate in your own growth. Because just like I said before with my own mentorship, it's not about what the mentor does for you. It's about what you do for yourself and how you invest in yourself and how you believe in yourself for you to create for yourself. Your mentor doesn't create for you. They help celebrate and calibrate and help open your eyes and help you see what you've created for yourself. But at the end of the day, you are the creator. You are the extraordinary. So with that, let's live a bubbly life. Remember www.abubbly.life/luxury living, and you will find all there is that you need. I love you. Bye.